Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Another Christmas romance movie was something that kind of struck my attention on Kickstarter. The artwork, although AI generated, I know there's a lot of talk about that, it was very appealing to me. And also I saw that the Hallmark-esque little movies that you make was kind of fun. I was kind of like, oh, this would be something new, something different, something I can play around Christmas time. And I'm always looking for Christmas-themed board games. So what I got with another Christmas romance movie was a very light game. And I think a lot of people are kind of being overly critical of what we're trying to attempt to do this. This is something you would find in a mass market. This is something I could play with my mom, who loves Hallmark movies, in particular the Christmas ones. I could definitely get her to the board game table to play this and still have something she could play and understand. She understands rolling dice and mitigating those dice, kind of the Yahtzee mechanic a little bit, not much, and filling up these spaces. If I get this icon, this little thing on the card matches the icon, I press it on there. Very understandable. But it's also a storytelling game where you're going to be telling stories through the cards that you accomplish. And then when everybody's done, and we always play it to everybody finishes, even though there's one winner, and everybody gets to tell the story of their movie and what happened in their movie. And we always have a laugh and we kind of ad-lib what's going on. And it creates a storytelling experience. As a storytelling game, this is one of my favorite ones because there's actually a game attached to it. There's actually something for you to do here. Let's shift gears and talk about that game. This is a light game. You're rolling dice, and at times you're hamstrung by those dice. There are some cards there that will allow the dice to be mitigated or changed a little bit, but sometimes you can be just totally hosed by the dice rolling. I don't know if there's necessarily a catch-up mechanic. When something gets a Christmas romance, everybody else gets something except for the person accomplishing it. They're going further in the game, but they're not getting the extra goodies. I guess that's the main catch-up mechanism of the game. I think it works okay. If you get a couple stages ahead, I think you're going to roll and you're going to win. But I don't think this is the type of game you're playing because, gosh, I want to crush everybody. I also don't think you're really going to get 2 stages ahead if people are paying attention. I think that's a little bit unrealistic. Although, I have played a few games where at the end it's like, okay, it's a foregone conclusion. We pretty much know who's going to win this. Let's start to wrap things up. The game is beautiful. The AI artwork, we're going to come back to that, it is something that's going to be polarizing. Some people are going to be for it and some people are not going to like it. I'm going to put all of that aside. I understand the arguments for and against it, but I like the look of it. Yet, it still has a glossy, almost unreal look to it. But I think it really, in this game in particular, it really brings it home with that shininess. I don't know, that almost fake look that you're going to get with the Hallmark movies. I think that it works here. This is not something that's going to blow your socks away, but if you're looking for kind of a more adult-themed Christmas, there's nothing adult-themed, nothing naughty, let's say that. You know, it's just about finding your love and romance and going through the Christmas little things you have. And we're always laughing at the cards. I definitely did not look through all the cards. So I wanted to see them as they popped up and kind of laugh, like the time traveler and the parents who don't like the boyfriend. And it was just a fun little experience. This is what I've had a blast with. It's not something you're really going to be there for the game mechanisms per se. But for an experience, this one's really good. It brings home the theme. It brings home the IP, even though it doesn't really have the Hallmark IP. We all, wink, wink, we know what we're looking at here. For us, this is a keeper, a Christmas mainstay. Here is another Christmas romance movie, which you can see some beautiful artwork on the front of it. Kind of gives you that Christmas theme. You're going to get a rule book, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. You're going to get a nice felt bag. And this one's good because my hand can fit all the way in it. And I have a big clunky hand. You're going to get 84 of these dice. These are all custom, kind of Christmassy clear dice. These look fantastic. You kind of see I just put them in here. There are a lot of dice. Some people have said there aren't enough dice with a full complement of players. I would never, ever, ever play this with a full complement of players, so I'll never find out. But I'm sure there's a workaround for that. You're going to have a bunch of cards. These are kind of like tarot side cards. And you can see that there's going to be places to put your stuff and some beautiful artwork. There has been some controversy around this perhaps being artificial art. If that bothers you, then you might want to do a little more research on it. But you can see it really has that hometowny Hallmark type of feel. Very clean artwork. I find it very appealing. It does have kind of a glossy look to it, I suppose. But you can see the icons on here, the victory points, etc., what you're going to have for it. So you're going to get some cards and some dice, clearly marked on the back. I didn't see any misprints or anything, so very good from a small company. Here is the rule book. You can see a picture of all the components here and the goals of the game, which is really, really nice. You're going to have a breakdown of what all of the components are and some of the definitions that you'll need. Then you'll have players set up, the area for you to set up for yourself, and then you'll jump in on how to play the game itself. Examples will be over here. You can see there's plenty of pictures. Examples down here in the green sections. Very easily, that's color-coded, and how to win the game. And then a little example here. If you want to play co-op or something, they give you a link to where those rules are available. Pretty darn good job for the rule book. It could have been a little tighter, I guess, in some areas, but not too shabby. I think that the rule book does a pretty good job of teaching the game. You probably need less than 20 minutes with this. So what's going to happen is everybody's going to get a star love interest, which will be the main character, and then you will get a headliner love interest. You can pair those up however you like. She's willing to give up her career for love, Mr. Right Before Your Eyes. Then you're going to get one of each stage, which should tell you like meet cute, falling in love, things like complicated love triumphs, and merrily ever after. And you can stack those up so the one is on top. And it's going to be business dealings, force them together. Now the Christmas romance cards, you'll shuffle those up. You'll bring one out. If there's less than 4 players, if there's 4 players, there'll be 2 of these. I'll show you 2 of these just so you can see a couple of them. You can go ice skating or attend an ugly Christmas sweater party. Then you'll take the movie element cards. We'll move these off to the side. And you're going to put 3 of these out. Beloved dog, close sibling, and local business owner. And these will be the 3 movie elements that you can kind of fool around with while you're playing. I'm kind of scooting everything on here so you can easily see it on the camera. Each round, you're going to get 3 dice. You can defer 2 of them if you don't want to roll them for whatever reason, and you can save them for a future round. You have to always roll at least 1 dice. If you do happen to have any deferred dice anywhere, you can take those off and add them to your hand also. What you're going to do is you're going to roll your 3 dice, and you'll have your things. In this case, I got 2 gingerbread men and a snowflake. Now, the other players are sitting around are allowed to copy one of your dice if they want to. They can take a die. If they do, they would put it on their love interest here, their headliner, and it says copy dice, and you can have it there, and they can keep that dice there for a future turn. Now, if you happen to have any copy dice there, say I do, then I could just add this to whatever I rolled, and so I kind of have a snowflake there in case I ever need it. And you're kind of looking ahead, saying, hey, I might need some snowflakes down the line. It's an easy way to get those. Now you can have these movie elements. You can always utilize these. You can use 1 per round. And what you'll be able to do is you want to take any 2 dice, and you can change it into any 2. You can do 3 for 1 or 2 for 1, 3. Now, anytime there's green dice here, that will tell you that you can defer dice there. For example, if I wanted to give up 2 dice here, any 2 dice, I could put 3 dice on deferred, so I would get an additional dice for next round. And you'll do that sometimes if you're not able to utilize something or it's not working out how you want. I'll push it into the next round. Now, you can start putting dice out on these locations if you want to, either on here or on the Christmas romance. For each stage that you accomplish or need to accomplish a Christmas romance also. So you just kind of put the dice, if you had one of these, you can just place it right on here. Now, any dice I place in the future has to be orthogonally adjacent. If it doesn't have a number on it, that's fine. I can put a dice on it, but the dice next to it also needs to be the same type. So I could do something like that to get that started. Very easy, rolling dice and trying to match them up. What you're going to be doing here is whoever completes this, so I could just put one of these on here, and I haven't completed it yet, and that's fine. If somebody else completes it on their turn, they're going to get the card. But everybody else who's not on the same stage is going to get the reward, not the person that completes it. So in this case, I would get 3 deferred dice if somebody else did this, and I can simply put these 3 dice on him, and then on the next turn, I'd be able to pick those dice up if I wanted to, and I would have additional dice to roll. Now, if you accomplish one of these stages, that's fine. That will come out. Let's say I also accomplish this, because I have to accomplish this to move on to the next stage. A new one would come out, and I would start working on my stage 2, trying to get through all the stage 5. If I get through stage 5 first, I am deemed the winner of the game. Now, once these are used twice, you can see there's 2 of these, then this will go away, and a new one of these would come out, and you would have a new power to kind of influence the game a little bit. And that's a quick overview of how you play another Christmas romance. Who should buy this game? Anybody who watches Hallmark movies, or in particular the Hallmark Christmas movies. I think this is going to fill a niche for you. If you want a lighter Christmas dice rolling type game you can play with your parents or people who are not necessarily gamers, or even gamers can play this, I think this will hit a niche for you. It's a little bit different of a Christmas theme. It doesn't have Santa and the elves or presents, etc. It tells an actual story when you're done. And you don't really have to fill in too many of the blanks with it. The cards do a really good job of telling that story and creating laughs and memories and good times. This game brings it in spades, and it's a keeper for us.